Thank you all for coming to the Christopher Show. For all of you who have been to have come before, thank you for coming back. And for those of you who have not been here, where have you been? Seriously, where have you been? Now I know Michael Arden has been away in London, so doing aspects of love. So welcome home, we're happy you're here. So he's got a good excuse. Eileen, your daughter is going to be, and Ben, your daughter is going to be a lead in a big Broadway musical. Women on the verge of a nervous breakdown who committed suicide, that isn't enough, or something, some bomb title like that. I know, but she's going to be amazeballs, right? Yeah, so you have an excuse, and the rest of you. I'm so happy that you're here. So thank you for coming to the Christopher Show. Now let me tell you what's happening this evening, even playing ground for you new people. Okay, this is an American variety talk show where I interview guests, and it's very fun, it's very light, it's very fun. On the very first show, we had a guy named Alec Mapa, okay? And Alec Mapa is a really funny comedian. He was on and we loved him and it was great, right? Well, I talked about, since being on the Christopher Show, he's been having all this success, right? And we're calling that the Christopher effect, right? So he comes on that show and he does it, and then after this he goes on The View, right? And he was a hit. Then they ask him to come on again, and he's a hit. And then they ask him to go on George Lopez, and he's a hit. And then they, now they're trying to like work out his own show for Alec Mapa, because of the Christopher Show, the Christopher effect. You understand where I'm going, right? Also works for the Christopher Show family. Now, I don't know if you know this or not, but we won an Emmy. We won an Emmy. I know. This person who's like a brother to me, his name is Travis Hagen. I don't know something, I don't have time to memorize last names, but he won an Emmy. Here's his picture. See? There's our Travis. Now, he didn't really win for the Christopher Show, obviously that's obvious, but he won for doing the lighting for the Olympics, and he's the lighting designer for the Christopher Show, so I'm kind of secreting it out. I want it. Alright. So everyone wants to know, is there anyone out here who's been to the show before where something amazing happened to them? Did anyone like find a penny or a good parking spot from seeing the Christopher Show? Nobody? Well, just so if something has, you are welcome. And by the way, Barrett Foe, something really, really amazing happened to him, and I'm not allowed to talk about it, but it's really good. He knows.
It's the Christopher effect.
It's the Christopher effect. That's what I'm saying to you. Thank you. All right, so now we're going to get into the show, and we have some amazing guests tonight. We have, for our first guest, we're going to have Adrian Zmed. Now, I've known Adrian Zmed for many, many years. We did the national tour of Greece together, where I played Eugene, and he played Danny Zuko, but as we lovingly refer to him as Daddy Zuko. One, because it's funny, and two, because he's a little bit older. But here's what I have to say about the Adrian Zmed. Here it is. He freaking worked out before every single show. There were weights in his dressing room. He was doing full push-ups, and during the show, he gave not 100%, but 150%. Every single show, I tip my hat to Mr. Zmed. He was pretty incredible, really, really well. We also have this group that are called the Janks, and the Janks are here. Now, maybe you have heard of the Janks, and maybe you haven't, but that's some YouTube stuff you should go figure out. They're this really hip kind of indie, Silver Lake, Las Feliz kind of band. This is how cool they are. They're so cool that the whole band doesn't have to show up to a gig. Only two have to show up. They're so hip. That's pretty hip, right? I know. So we have two of the Janks of the four, but it's still good, right? And then we have Mrs. Winoker, who is here, or Mrs. Miller, I guess I should say, is her married name. And so we have Marissa. Sweet, right? And normally, we have Adventures with Marissa and Christopher, which is a segment for you people that haven't seen the show that we air where Marissa and I do these adventures around town. But guess what? You are now part of the adventures of Marissa and Christopher, because this will be on an episode of Marissa and Christopher.